The hardest thing about living alone when you have been in a family unit for a very long time is living with yourself. Dealing with yourself every day, the crazy stuff you think, the crazy stuff you want to do, and how to deal with all that. How to deal with the stuff that might come creeping back in from your past that you would rather forget about. How to deal with the stuff, that nagging guilt that you feel from the thing that you did when you were a teenager. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how to live with yourself and let some stuff go and how to kind of deal with that. Get into it. Let's talk about it.
I'm 46 years old and living my best life, and it did not come easy. It didn't just happen. I'm here to share my experiences with you so you can live your best life too.
The number one thing that stands out when I look back on the last 6 years and living alone in my own space, in my own energy, and in my head, that was the worst place to be. I can clean the house around me. I can make my yard look pretty. I can put on makeup. I can change my clothes. But this in here, my internal space, was still a mess. And I had to deal with that. I had to deal with myself on a level I have never gone to before. I had to dig deep, and it hurt a little bit, and then it hurt a whole lot more. And then when it was done, there was such a relief. I felt so free for the first time in ever, because I was able to finally deal with the things that I've just been pushing down. All that stuff that you've been pushing down, and even little things that you've just kind of pushed to the side, we're going to let those things go today. And the first thing I want to start with, something a little lighter. It's just the things that no longer serve you. And I'm going to use the house analogy again. We've talked about your house here before on the channel. It's your internal space. It's your heart. It's your mind. It's all of your internal space. That's your house. And we're going to clean out a closet. So if it helps for you to visualize a house, you can do this in meditation. You can just have a quiet moment to do this. Visualize your house. Whatever you feel like your internal space looks like, that's what we're going to work with today. So you've got your house pictured in your mind. I want you to go to the living room closet, you know, where you put all the coats. Get into that closet and clean that sucker out. We're looking for the things that do not serve you today. And we're looking for the less personal things that you can just let go of. Now, if you got mad because somebody fired you from a job 20 years ago, we're looking at that today. So go through your closet. And what may help you to visualize, you know that pair of jeans that you've got in the back of your closet, the ones you wore 10 years ago to the bar to your friend's party, and you look so good in them jeans, and you walked into the bar like somebody walking through a movie with the slow-mo, and all the heads are turning, and you look so good, you feel so sexy in them britches. But you can't wear them no more. And they've been in your closet for the last 10 years. Because one day you're going to get back in them. Honey, I'm here to tell you. Throw them out. Give them away. Do something with them. Because when you put them on, you're going to look like a busted can of biscuits. And there ain't no coming back from that. These jeans are going to represent the things that don't serve you anymore. Old things. Old goals that aren't even necessary anymore at this point. Throw them out. Get rid of them. Throw them away. You can give them away. Whatever works for you in your internal space, that's what I want you to do. I want you to see yourself giving these jeans away, and with it, you're going to give them to the universe, and you're going to give away the goal you had to be an archaeologist when you were 12 years old and learning more and more about dinosaurs and ancient civilizations. We're going to give away the goal that you set when you were in your younger teen years where you wanted to be a model, and you're going to let that go. You're going to let go of the goal that you set when you were in your 20s that you wanted to be completely retired by the time you were 50, because that's not going to happen, probably not going to happen either. Let go of the ideal that you had the perfect life with the picket fence and the 2 cats and the dog and the truck and the boat and the house and the carport and the garage and the yard sale every weekend in March with the husband that makes all this buku money, and your kids have perfect lives. That didn't happen either, so let's let that go. These are things that do not serve you today. These are things that, whether you know it or not, they're holding you back and holding you down. And every now and then they might creep up in your mind and cause you some pain, and you get stuck in your head and think, well, you're a failure. You're not a failure. Your life took a different path. And that's okay. It's time to let that stuff go. The next thing that we want to look for, we're going to go a little deeper into your house. We're going to look for the stuff that makes you mad. Every time you think about it. It happened 20 years ago, but you're still mad. Why? Let's go into another room and open another closet and find out why. So we're going to go back into the hall closet this time. Open it up, look inside, look for the things that happened way, way, way back when, and ask yourself, why am I still mad about this? You're going to go as far back as you can remember and see if you find things that represent a time that you were mad and something you're still mad about. For example, when I was in elementary school, there was a mean boy that made a rhyme that rhymed with my last name. And it made me mad. It hurt my feelings, and I hated him for years for it. Because I heard it the whole way through school. Every time my full name was said, this came right behind it, and I wanted to punch somebody in the throat every time. But you know what? It doesn't bother me anymore. I don't like him, but not because of that, just because he's an asshole. But we're looking for things like that. Start as far back as you can remember. If you happen to see, let's say, an old toy that your neighbor stole from you, is it in your closet? Are you still mad and still don't speak to that neighbor on friendly terms because when you were 8 years old they stole your toy? How about we let that go? You don't have to like them. You don't have to be their best friend. But stop being mad. Let the grudge go. You were kids. It's time to grow up and get over that. Progress even further. Look for everything that has made you mad and ask yourself, why am I holding on to this? Why am I holding on to a grudge against a girl that called me an ugly name in high school and got me in trouble because I had to beat her ass? Well, it's time to let that go too. I don't have to like her today. I don't have to be her friend, but it's time to stop being mad. Now we're going to get a little more recent. Are you still mad at your ex because he cheated on you 20 years ago? Let it go. It's time. It is time to let that go. I know it hurt. I know it ruins your family and it ruins your marriage, but you're still here, aren't you? Your kids are okay, right? It happened. Things happened after that. Let it go. It's holding you down. It's holding you back. You are torturing yourself by holding on to this anger. You're going to wake up one day, and I know you are because you've already done it so many times, and you're just mad at everybody, and you don't know why, and you want to call up customer service just so you can be mad at somebody, because we all get mad at customer service. It's time to let that go. And I promise there will be less days where you are so mad you can't even stand yourself. There will be less conflict, more joy. And that's what this is all about. Living a better life, right? How can you do that when you're holding on to old anger? We're going to get down into the deep stuff. We're going to go into the bedroom. We're going to open the closet and look under the bed for the things that you've done that you're mad at yourself about. We're looking for all those red flag moments that could have saved you so much heartache, and we're going to let them go. Let's say you found a pair of socks that were your ex's. And he is your ex because he was a terrible ex. He was a terrible person. You were not happy. He treated you bad, and you're still mad. You're still hurt. You're still kicking yourself because you should have seen it coming. You should have been able to see what kind of person he was before you brought him in your life and invested all this time and love into a relationship that was doomed from the beginning. Let that go. It's over. It's over. It's done. You came out the other side. And it's time to let that go. You don't have to be his friend today. You don't have to have anything to do with it. You don't even have to wave at him if you see him walking down the street because he ain't got no car. You just have to let go of being mad at yourself, being mad at him. Forgive. This is where we're going to start doing some big forgiving. Forgive yourself. Forgive him or her. Whatever your taste may be, I don't care. Forgiveness is not for the person that you feel has wronged you. It is for yourself. Because forgiveness lifts a weight that a grudge has left. Some of us have walked around our whole lives carrying all these old grudges. We've got prints in our shoulders where it's been sitting there weighing us down. It's time to let it go. Forgive that person and forgive yourself. You didn't let yourself down, you learned something. And it might have taken 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 lessons before it finally stuck. But you learned. You live and you learn and you let go. Keep digging. Keep looking for those moments when you're kicking yourself because you look back in 20/20 vision, hindsight is 20/20 and all that, and just keep looking for those times when you should have seen those red flags, when you should have seen, this is not a situation I want to be in, and let that go. Release it. Give it away. You can do this through meditational exercises. You can write a note, set it on fire, get you some balloons and a permanent marker, write it on the balloon and let them fly. The important thing is that you let it go. And guess what? You're probably going to have to do this more than once because some things are very deep and they hurt us very much. And sometimes I'll still wake up in the morning and I'm mad about something that happened a long time ago and I have to let it go all over again. But the longer I do this, the more times I do this, the more times I keep letting it go, the less frequent those days are. The less I think about whatever that was, the less I'm thinking about that boy in the 2nd grade that made up the ugly name about me. The less I think about the girl in the 8th grade that called me an ugly name. The less I think about the girl that used to live next door that kicked my dog. You know, I stayed mad at her for 30 years over that. I'm not mad anymore. I got over it. We learn how to get mad as very small children, but we never learn how to not be mad anymore. It's time that we do that. It's time for us to practice some forgiveness and let stuff go. Stop being mad. Forgive that other person and yourself, most importantly, because we have a whole big life to live. And anger is not part of it anymore. You can't be mad and live your best life. You can't be mad and live with yourself on a daily basis. You're just going to be mad every day. So free yourself from it. It's not easy, but it's totally worth it.